Tom Brady. Like,
Yeah.
this is nuts. This is nuts. I that's the question, I guess, is like you played with this guy and knew him and watched an evolution at a time now we're watching whatever this finished product is, if it's ever going to be a finished product. So how crazy is it for you to process it? What we're all processing, you have a different vantage point of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, every time I get with him, and I'm always like, yo, bro, what are you doing? What are you chasing? And it's like, he give me that look like, why are you asking me that? You know what I'm doing. But really, no, Tom, I don't. I really don't know what it is. You got a beautiful family at home. You got all the fortune that you need. But guess what? That's not what it's about, fellas. I think as athletes, commentators, you're always competing with yourself. You're battling with can I get better? And can I do better than what I just did? And guess what? This is what Tom's life is going to be the rest of his life. So whenever he retires from football, all of that energy, he's going to channel it into something else where he's going to be continuing to compete with himself. But that's what makes him so special. It makes him that the GOAT, in which he hates that. He hates it. He hated it.
How much longer is he going to play, Deion? 45? I know he's talked about playing till he's 50, but is that realistic?
Listen, trust me. I really believe if Tom wins this game Sunday, I really believe deep down inside, I think him and his wife will sit down, and I think that they will have that conversation. I think this may be it. Like, look, you've done it all in New England. You've stepped away from the Patriots. You've done it without the New England Patriots and that stigma that's over your head as far as who is it, Bill? Is it you? Is it Mr. Kraft? Who is it? You've done it there. I mean, what else? That's just my opinion. And what better way to go out other than winning the Super Bowl? The only thing he can do next is win the MVP next year and win the Super Bowl again, which is going to be hard. Yes. Often have the Super Bowl MVP, the regular season MVP, and that team went on to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
That's now he's going to play till he's 60, though. That's what we just did here. It's funny. It's cool to hear that you've still talked to him about this and that drive is there. Yeah. Take us behind a curtain for a story that maybe you can tell about, like one of your favorite all-time Tom Brady stories. Is something, whether it was when you guys, your first impressions of him or something on the field, something away from the field. What will stand out to you?
I think he's gonna kill me because I tell this story all the time. I love it though, because it just shows you the competitiveness within Tom. So then we're in training camp, and we have to do certain things. We have cornholes and all these other mess in the locker room. Bill hates all this mess, but we needed to kind of get our minds off the game for a little while. So we're in the back room. We have this little lounge area. We're playing ping pong. And so I'm on the table, and I'm beating pretty much everybody that's lined up in here. I'm killing the whole team. Tom walks in. There's about 6 guys in line. Okay? You heard what I said, 6 guys in line. He skips everybody, grabs the paddle, like, let's play. Boom, boom, boom. I beat it. And he's like, all right, run it back, Tito. I'm like, all right, cool. I beat him the second time. And so now the frustration is slowly starting to kick in. Tom, like, run it back. I'm like, bro, it's like, by this time, it's 10 guys in line. You can't just keep, but it's Tom. So everybody just excuse him. I beat him the third time. We go out and practice later that day. Okay, well, first of all, I skipped something. Once I beat him the third time, Tom breaks the paddle. He breaks the paddle. We go out and practice. I'll say we were probably, maybe a week into practice, 2 days. Every day leading up to that one particular day, Tom had probably threw me the ball at least 50 times within all of our different drills. That one day, I didn't receive not one pass.
He froze
Tom
you out.
threw me the ball not one time. And Bill knew something was up. Like, what's the deal? And so Tom didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. We just kind of laughed and left it alone. But that brother is so competitive, and I love it about him because I'm the same way. Now, I probably wouldn't have took it as far as him in practice, but I didn't receive a ball at all that day in practice. The next day we were cool. So
what you're saying is that Brady's a sore loser. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah, a little bit. That's my claim to fame with Tom. But he went from breaking the paddle, skipping 6 guys, ran it back 3 times with 8 guys in line, skipping the paddle, and then didn't even throw me a pass in practice, preceding that situation. So, Hey, that's Tom for you, man. I
But we
love it.
found
though.
something that he's not good at least. That's great that we know that Tom Brady's at least bad at one thing in life.
But
Or either that or Deion's really
Oh,
good.
Deion's really good.
yeah, it's just I may be a little bit better than him. I'll say that. Now I will be, I'm an honest guy. For some reason, Fred McCrary whooped my butt the entire camp. Our fullback. I couldn't beat him for some strange reason. But I'm glad I didn't get the opportunity to see that because I beat Tom, so that's the only thing that matters.
That's what matters. You should have stopped it there. Deion, looking at this going to, it was so odd. I mean, the first time I remember seeing him in a Bucs uniform, it was just strange, right? This is a lifelong Jets fan, by the way. So there is some pain inside me. So part of it was therapeutic too. But we see this, he's not with Bill Belichick, the system that was so great to everybody involved. I have questions personally, especially after that first game. Is this going to work out with him? And I'm wondering, you talked to him. Did you have any doubt? Like, what was in you know this so much better than us when you looked at it and say, how's this going to go?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When Tom and I, the few times that we have spoken this season, in which, I keep it to a minimum with all my teammates that are still playing. I try not to bother those guys. I just send a text and we conversate that way. But this season, honestly, I'm going to be real with you, Adam. I didn't think they would make it to the Super Bowl. I would say that. I knew they would probably get to the playoffs. I didn't foresee this. So I'm pulling for Tom and Gronk, and I came out with Byron Leftwich, out of college. So I'm pulling for these guys. And that's more of a bias thing. What's going to happen in the game, I don't know, but I didn't foresee this, especially not having an off season, and if you notice, Tom tried to sneak and have an off season here and there with the receivers and the skill players. And, the NFL, the hires be, they shut that down. So that's one reason, because Tom is such he's a perfectionist. And the thing is, he want to get there. I want to get acclimated with these guys. I'm in a new offensive system and I want to work with my receivers. And by them not having an opportunity to do that due to COVID, that's one thing that really just surprised me. Like, man, this isn't going to go as well. And boom, the regular season started. It was a roller coaster. And these guys started clicking at the right time. One thing I always learned from Bill, and he was right about this. Football season really doesn't start until after Thanksgiving. If you're one of those teams that's always kind of like, we're there, but we're not quite there. If you start clicking around Thanksgiving and beyond that, you'll be good. And Tampa Bay pretty much has been clicking ever since.
So your emotional lean is obviously Tampa, but as you look at the game itself, what do you lean? Like, can you distance what you think is going to happen from your emotional lean, or all those? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, well, it's somewhat the same thing. My honest opinion, straight up, Adam. I know I'm not giving you enough. I know that this game is going to go over 56 points.
Okay,
there we go. I love it.
All right, there we go. There we go.
They have Kansas City favored by 3.5. If I was a gambler, I would probably take the Bucs on that, because a lot of these Super Bowls, if you look back in history, they've been decided by what? 1, 2, 3, no more than 3 points.
Close games, yeah.
You understand? So, and then if you look at the widespread of things, one thing I feel right now, probably for Kansas City, not saying it's going to happen, but with those 2 offensive linemen getting injured last week, that is kind of crazy. And it's just kind of, the timing is so bad, especially the way their front seven is playing. Tampa Bay's front seven is playing. You got JPP and Sue, and these guys are balling. Barrett, these guys are playing great ball now. And I know they're licking their chops, but at the same time, those other 2 backup offensive linemen, these guys are professionals. And Andy Reid and the coaching staff and their teammates, they're banking on these guys. They count that they'll go out and do their job. So who knows, man? Once this game starts, that's all I can tell you, really, Adam. I know it'll go over 56. That's about
okay.